this is probably a dumb question. Have you had clients who you've identified as being lost in a kind of sea of possibilities and having not one clear calling, but apparently many? I'd say apparently because I guess it's possibly not always the case, but you've had people like that.
Yeah, loads. Loads. And it's what I see is that it's just incredibly frustrating for them because they're so full of passion. It's like just being, you know, full to the brim with this energy that wants to go somewhere.
Yeah.
But because there's so much of it in it, and it wants to go in different directions, there's this immense kind of pressure and frustration that they can't just kind of channel it all in one direction. And one thing that I see is that they then get into the just one more qualification syndrome. So it's like, oh, well, I'll just train in one more thing, or maybe it's training that I need, and generally it's not training that they need. They need to just get on and take action in offering the thing that they do.
Yeah. So not getting ready to act, but actually acting.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the research, you know, you could research forever, couldn't you, and then not do anything. Okay, cool. Because I think, am I right in thinking that you did start out kind of with a focus on finding and following passion, and then you've moved a little bit, well, a lot to following?
Yeah, because I think I actually am better helping people who do have more of a sense of what they want to do. When people are trying to find their passion, I guess because these days I'm more of a teacher as well as a coach. I'm teaching certain principles, and a lot of those principles don't quite kick in until someone's found their passion.
Yeah.
But then saying that, when someone doesn't really quite know what their thing is, by taking the steps, it helps them get to know their passion. Absolutely, so you can kind of use that step-by-step process with someone who doesn't know what their passion is too. But it's just the direction that I've moved into. It's like, right, I'm ready to go. Come on,
let's go. So the most common first step with these kind of scattered, kind of overwhelmed with passions people has been what?
So let me see what I say. So it's really about action.
Yeah.
It's really about taking action steps. So the coaching model, the coaching that I'm trained in, we look at you learn, you take action, and then based on what action you take, you learn, and based on the learning, you take more action. So it's a kind of each stage feeds on the other, and without just having coaching sessions and talking about stuff doesn't really get anywhere. You have to take brand new action, which is generally pretty scary. So which is why people don't take it. Yeah. And then from taking that action, it's like, oh, actually, I thought this was something I'm passionate about, but when I'm actually doing it, I don't enjoy it. So you can kind of cross one of them off your list.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So definitely taking action. So the doing rather than the theory.
Doing rather than theory. Yeah.
It's like, let's say someone says, I really love yoga. Love yoga. And it's like, great. Well, and they're trained as a yoga teacher. Rather than learning more about yoga, and it's like, right, well, just teach a class.
Try it.
Just get 5 friends round and teach it right now.
Yeah.
And see how it feels.
Exactly, yeah.
And, they might very quickly discover, oh my God, I don't
actually.
at all. It's just horrific. So, whereas they'd have carried on taking more and more yoga. I've seen this, more and more different yoga qualifications.
Yeah. Getting ready, I'm getting ready.
Yeah. Just, you're ready, just go.
So do you think there's a big fear there? So part of it is to do with fear.
Yeah, because it's about being visible.
Yeah.
So this is an answer to one of the questions you're going to ask in a bit.
Okay.
But I think a lot of what helps people when they're in that multi-passionate, I want to do everything kind of zone, is to focus less on ourselves and more on the people we can help.
Right.
So when you teach a yoga class to 5 people, you're focusing on those 5 people. You're not so much focusing anymore on yourself. And that's what I find gets people over the fear.
Yeah.
It's not about you, it's about them. It's about helping them. So make yourself available to them. Even if it's not perfect, even if it's scary, just get over there with them.
Get out there.
Get out there.
Brilliant. Okay, so...
And one other thing that I help with, there's a killer question that So there are 2 more things to say on this. One is the killer question I ask coaching clients who are in this kind of zone is, what do you wish I would dare you to do?
Ah, fantastic.
So that's a definite minestrone soul question.
It is, totally.
What's going to scare you? That's a daring thing.
Yeah.
And the other action step actually is decluttering. Like physically decluttering, simplifying your environment, simplifying your computer files, simplifying your diary.
Wow.
Just decluttering, because a lot of that minestrone thing is like taking out ingredients, you know?
Yeah.
Right? What can we take out, and then what we're left with?
Okay. So the noodles are actually strangling you, so you've got to get rid of some noodles.
Yeah, exactly. If someone doesn't know what they want to do, you can start by looking at, well, what do you not want to do? And taking things out first.
Okay. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Cool. So your approach with this kind of minestrone all over the place client, with some people that I would call lasers, that are really focused and quite singular about their focus, does your approach really differ, or is it essentially the same kind of way that you approach them?
It's essentially the same, but one of the key questions I will ask if someone... So often, for example, people are very unwilling to choose a niche.
Yeah.
That's something where minestrone souls just kind of freak out. It's like, there's no way that I'm going to restrict myself to one thing. So how I would look at it is that it's not about restricting. And that by looking at where you are now often actually feels quite restrictive and trapped, because, you know, that thing I said at the beginning, like all the frustration and the passion, and it kind of feels like you're all tied up with nowhere to go.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, is this actually working for you now? Do you feel completely free, or do you actually feel quite trapped? By being so open, you feel quite trapped. Whereas when you become focused, ironically, that focus frees you. Yeah.
And it opens up for you to start allowing some of the other passions in as well, which is it is kind of inversion, isn't it? But
yes,
yeah,
definitely.
I see completely how that works. That's really interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
So is this part of the, you know, anxiety that people have? If I focus on this, then I'm going to get bored, because they know, you know, we know what we like. I'm going to do this, and then 6 months later, what if I'm not interested anymore, and then what?
And what if it's the wrong decision? What if I'm bored? So in terms of being the wrong decision, no decision is the wrong decision. As in, not deciding means you can't move forward. So it's better just to choose something and move forward with that.
Absolutely.
Know that you can change it, you can evolve it. I mean, my business has totally evolved over the years, from like teenagers with relationship issues to, you know, people building businesses. It's completely different, but I wouldn't have got here if I hadn't have committed to being there.
Yeah. So you didn't just set out and go, well, actually, I've received this big vision of me doing this with these precise people. I mean, it doesn't happen, does it? It's quite organic.
It really doesn't. And it's that lovely, people talk about often, imagine you're driving along and there's just fog all around you, and all you can see is the next step.
Yeah.
And just, there's a huge element of trust that by taking that next step, it's going to lead to the next one. And if that's going to reveal itself, then, like you say, there's no big vision. You have to just have it all figured out now. And
if you're kind of feeling overwhelmed, I mean, the fog is actually, I imagine, is quite friendly, because then it hides the big picture from you. You don't have to think, you know, you're literally just looking in front of you.
That's a lovely way of putting it. I like that. Yeah, just like a safety blanket.
Yeah. Please be foggy.
Because I think that's what a lot of it, like when I say about the decluttering, a lot of it is just getting rid of the distractions, simplifying, saying no some more, saying no some more. What are you left with is just what's here in front of you.
Yeah. Fantastic. Are you ready for the next one?
I am.
So people that are naturally good at lots of stuff find it harder to accept that they need help. I mean, that's been my experience. I don't know what you're like with that, but I've met so many people that are just all-rounders, and they just think, I can do everything myself. So you tell me what it's about, and I'll mug up on it, and I'll go off and do it. You know, I can do it. I can do everything myself. So why should I get any support? And you know, finding it hard to accept that they do need help. How do you deal with them? How do you kind of break that shell down?
Yeah, that's a great one. I mean, the people who come to me, they are they're seeing that they need help in terms of having a coach. So I won't come into contact with people who accept no help because they wouldn't be seeking me out. But they seek me out often. Often it's practical, but often it's because minestrone souls often love personal development.
Yeah,
it's like learning, growing. So coaching is like a dream because it's like you get to explore and develop and grow. What I experience that my clients don't find easy is accepting more like technical help, website development, admin, even just anything like having a cleaner, having just any kind of help like that, which exactly like you say, I can do it, so I should do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Struggling with your tax return because you can do it, because you're brainy enough, but you don't want to do it, but you can do it. Just sort of stubbornness, isn't it?
Beautiful example. Even I this year sacked my accountant last year and said, I'm going to do it myself.
I did that too.
And then right now I'm in the place of thinking, why did I do that? I don't want to do my tax return.
I know, it's ridiculous.
For me, as a minestrone soul myself, I have to keep reminding myself, is this the best use of my time? Is this me doing my most valuable work that only Karina can do? And that's my question. Only I can write my blogs. Only I can coach. Only I can teach my programs. So I have to make sure that I've got enough time and energy to do those things, and they're going to be my highest profit things to do as well. And then I have to just let go and trust that other people can do things as well as I can in the other areas.
Yeah. And I wonder if there's some people that are on your periphery, so they're not engaging directly with you, probably stalking you, and they're not taking the next step because they're like, well, that's kind of a defeat. That's a bit of a failure if I do that. Because I should be smart enough to do this on my own. And I love what you said before about the whole self-employment thing, not being by yourself employment. To me, that I was exactly like that. I know. I can handle it. I should be able to do this. On my own completely. And I imagine there's people that they're not even sticking their hand up yet.
Yeah, it's a really good point. Yeah, I mean that's the thing, is that I don't have contact with them, but I know a lot of people who will be reading my blog or reading other people's blogs, so they're getting help indirectly, but exactly as you say, actually filling out that form, having a conversation with me, hiring me would be like, I can't do this myself, as a negative.
And I've seen so many people in different forums and stuff that are really in that really difficult stage of being completely overwhelmed, and I know that I myself can't help them. I'm not really trained. I can give them pointers, I can sort of say what I've been through, but I don't think it's not the best use of my toolbox is directly helping those people. I mean, I can see so much difference with actually having a one-on-one with a trained coach. It does make all the difference. So it's sort of kind of getting through to the right people and helping them feel okay about asking for help or just admitting that they do need some help. And I think I've done that to an extent in things like blog posts or emails where I've said, or like when I feature people who are successful or kind of, the case studies. But I think what you're making me realise is I could be more explicit, kind of like talking to what I do, talking to those people who are thinking it's a failure to get help, and more giving stories of how people have. I mean, your testimonial is just beautiful. It's that I thought I could do it all myself, and then actually, why do I need to? I don't need to. This is not what I'm trained in. She's trained in this, so let's get her help with this. Okay, stories is always a good one. I mean, everyone relates to stories.
Yeah, definitely.
And this ties in with the next thing about the message in the bottle. If you could somehow send a message in a bottle to these minestrone souls who are trying to do everything on their own, and they don't yet know, I mean, we've maybe answered this already, they don't yet know they could get help with this real overwhelm, not knowing where to start, specifically with establishing a business. So my question is, what would be your magic words on the message, and how would you get it to them?
Well, I think the first thing is empathy, just that this is a really, really normal state of being. You know, it's not like everyone else in the world knows exactly what they want to do. They're singularly minded and they're going for it. It's incredibly normal to have, you know, a number of passions and be trying to weigh up which ones you move forward with. It's very normal to get overwhelmed. It's very normal to be scared. It's very normal for all the self-doubt to come chattering away. So that would be the first thing on my message in a bottle, would be just normalising and empathising and showing people that they're really not alone. And then the second bit really is just knowing that you can have a back burner. That, you know, it's not all or nothing in this moment. So you can take action. This is a very long message in a bottle, isn't it?
That's okay, it's a big bottle.
Big bottle.
You can write small.
You can take action and take it with the intention of serving people. Yeah. Not about being about yourself. The intention is to serve people. So let me take action to serve other people. And then everything else, I'm not going to get rid of it. I'm just going to put it on the back burner. I can bring it out at some point, but you know, I'm not getting rid of it. But I need to just focus on this and move forward with this to help people. Yeah,
that makes sense. I kind of think of it sometimes as a garden, like an ideas garden, and it's okay. It's totally okay to plant these little nuts or seeds or whatever, and they'll just do their own thing in their own time, and they're still there. So
beautiful.
I mean, I use Evernote a lot. So when I have the kind of idea that doesn't go away, I write it on Evernote, and then I close it. So you know, I've got it on my phone and on the computer. So it's a good way of just getting those ideas out of the way, and then you don't have to act on them straight away. So that's really helping with the overwhelm. And this feeling of having to act all the time, and we don't have to act all the time at all.
No. Act on something that's going to benefit other people. But I love that you're using technology. You know, there are so many. I think that's really important, having a system like David Allen in getting things done. Do you know that one?
I haven't read that one. I've heard of it.
One of his systems is having a someday maybe file. Yeah. So again, it's not like now or never. It's not now, but maybe someday. Someday maybe. Yeah.
I used to have a pipe dreams file in my filing cabinet.
There we go. Beautiful. I've got future business ideas.
Okay, that's cool.
Which is anything that I want to action now just goes in there, and I'm probably never actually going to look at it, because when I have an idea that's really good, it stays and it stays, and I act on it. Yeah. So that folder is more of a kind of psychological thing, that I haven't lost that idea. It's in that file. It's okay. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's so important to get it out of your head. You know, stop keeping you awake at night, kind of thing. Yeah. And I mean, I like the technology, because otherwise the bits of paper end up everywhere, and then I don't know where they've gone, and then there's this kind of anxiety that I might have lost an idea or something. So
I think that's one of the big overwhelm areas, isn't it? But Ministerial Souls is that your office or your house becomes a paper mountain, because you keep having these creative bursts and putting that on paper and then filing it, just putting it on the, you know, I've got a little, look, I'll show you my little, hang on.
What is it, a spike or something?
That's my little, that's as big as it gets.
Oh wow. That's great.
I ruthlessly deal with it, but that's my kind of dumping.
That's good. I'm impressed. Okay.
Thank you. It used to be bigger.
Okay. Fantastic. So we've got the message.
Yes.
How are we going to get it to them?
Probably via people like you, Joe.
Okay, that's good.
Finding what I call golden megaphones. So people who know a lot of the people that you want to reach. Yeah. So my guess is you can spot them a mile off. They're your tribe. So if I wanted to really communicate with people who identify in that way, I would find someone like you to disseminate the message.
I mean, people like Nick Williams has been talking about Renaissance souls for a long time, hasn't he?
Yes.
And there are, I mean, have you heard of partylike.com? Partylike. Emily Wapnick, I think her name is. She's got a whole website based around multipassionate people. And they've got their own little tribe.
Nice. And then what's the scanners thing? Is that Barbara?
Barbara Sher, that refused to choose. Yeah. Barbara
Sher. I love mine. What's that? Refused to choose,
I think, is one of her books, and she's got she's got heaps.
Yeah.
They're on my reading list. I haven't actually read them yet, but
yeah.
So one day. Yeah. And there's another one, Tia Sparkles. Have you heard of her?
Yes, she's great. She's a CTI coach like me.
Oh, cool. Because I'm going to do some guest posting for her, and she's got quite a big network, I think, which is cool.
She has, yeah. Some really social media,
yeah.
Great. Yeah, that's the thing. There are people who are more in this, who specifically say they are in this field more than I would do. So if that were a sub niche that I were really trying to reach, then they're the places I would go. So
finding where these people hang out, and I think, from my experience recently, I've posted, I'm doing my research in different ways, and one of the ways is for instance, posting in the Goddess Circle, like Leonie Dawson's thing,
right.
And I talk about my concept and my site, and then I get several replies going, "Oh my God, I don't know. I feel really happy now because I'm not totally stuffed up and broken. You just totally described me." And people that didn't realise that was okay, or that was normal, or whatever, or that they could even maybe connect with other people this way. So sort of take a step back. I mean, there's people who this bottle might wash up on the seashore somewhere, but they weren't looking for it, so.
Beautiful. Yeah, I remember when one of my clients who is really a minestrone soul, when she found the whole scanners idea, she felt so much relief because that's exactly what you say, like, I'm not this weird, broken, there's not something dysfunctional about me. There are lots of people like me.
Really cool. So, I mean, one of the things I'm developing mad theories about marketing for these type of people. Right. And I mean, what's really helped me about the work we've done is the connection. I mean, that is the number one thing, because that's helped just to ground everything. Just to totally, if I compare it to when I'm talking about trying to market what I do, or what people who are minestrone souls do, my kind of image in my head is of a big glitter ball, like a disco ball, and it's got this. It's not hollow. It's got something in the middle that's turning it around slowly. It's a little motor, and it's got all these mirrors around the side. And as it kind of turns around really slowly, it's reflecting off to all the other people, and they're seeing themselves in it. And it's the alternative before connection is like a pinball. It's kind of going ding, 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 and then it goes down, and then it stops, and then you've got to get loads of momentum behind it again, and you start it again, and then it goes ding, 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 again, and it stops. So for me, that's the difference between being a pinball and being a big beautiful glitter ball, is this idea of connection. And some of the kind of courses and stuff I've done before, they haven't really covered that, and yours is the one that really made sense to me, and that's the one thing to me that's made it such a big difference. So thank you for that.
My pleasure. So it's so important. It's amazing how little time you need to devote to something which makes such a big difference.
Completely. So I'm going to be kind of championing that idea as well.
Great, love that. Thank you.
Okay, I'm just going to have some water, and then maybe we could move on unless you've got anything else to add to that section.
The one remaining thing that might be useful is just to look at the idea of an umbrella. So that actually, when you create a business that's really just you doing exactly what you do best, often it becomes an umbrella for lots of your different talents that you thought you had to choose between. So, like for me, when I started coaching, it's like, oh, okay, I'm a coach, not a writer. I became a coach, and I'm not a teacher anymore. So I kind of went from being a writer to a teacher to a coach, and then now as my business really evolves to be fully me in business form, of course I'm a coach and a teacher and a writer, and I'm getting to do all these things that I love doing, and I'm getting to laugh, and I'm getting to use metaphor, and I'm getting to create stuff, and just like all these different, or at one point in my life I wanted to be an actress, well now I'm doing some videos, it's like
completely
you can actually, you'll find that all your talents kind of feed in and fit under the umbrella of your business as a whole. When you focus, when you let something guide you into it, when you let something focus you, the other bits kind of come with you because they're you. They're not going to get left behind.